Yes, I mean you, dear listener. Thank you. Thank you for listening to this Warui Deshou podcast. We're so happy to have the pleasure of your company today. If you've listened to us before and like our show, you might be wondering how you can support us, since we won't take your money. This podcast will continue to be free, but if you'd like to show your appreciation, please consider leaving us a rating and review on iTunes, as those help our discoverability. If you don't use iTunes, that's fine too. You can follow us and like and share our content on SoundCloud and Twitter. Additionally, we love getting your feedback, positive or negative. Tweet us at Warui Deshou or email us at waruideshow@gmail.com. Whether or not it gets read on the show, I can assure you, we all read every tweet and email you send us. And once again, dear listener, we thank you so much. Now please, enjoy the show.
Warui Deshou.
So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second episode of the French Toast Hour. It is I, your ever grateful host, the Subtle Doctor, self-professed mechaholic and fan of all things robot, here to guide you through the turbulent waters of our darling. And with me, as always, it is the man with one of the cooler avatars on the internet, but he's much more handsome in real life, Shadon.
Oh, aren't you sweet? Aren't you sweet? You break hearts saying that, Doc. Well, hello everyone, how are we all doing this fine evening?
I hope everybody out there is well. I am certainly less cold. You can probably hear that I sound much better than episode 1 of this stream of thought here, because the blizzard, it was actually the second blizzard in a row that I was undergoing at that time, has completely dissipated, and I am back in the usual recording location.
Excellent. I just imagine, though, like, when that was all over, you had to dig yourself out. Did you get your kids to help you? Did you put them to work? Like, finally earn their keep? Dig you out from the bunker?
They earned those Christmas toys, let's put it that way.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
You just imagine someone walking on the surface and then seeing a straw poke out through the snow. And it's also a children's pink bendy straw.
It's a little periscope.
Yes. Oh, but I'm back, you're back, and we're here to continue with our discussion of the A1/Trigger co-production, Darling in The Franxx.
Are you going to use, like, every stream of thought that we do as an excuse to start trying to sound, like, French and suave?
Maybe.
I mean, you are getting, like, Fruit de Mer and Darling in the Franxx delivered to you on a silver platter here, but we'll do, like, when we get round to it, we'll do something like One Punch Man Season 2. Like,
exactly.
And you'll be
What
saying that,
do?
One Punch Man. That was terrible.
Mom.
See what I mean, folks? Do you see what I mean? Do you see what I have to put up with here?
All right. Here we go. Here's the rundown of episode 2, What It Means to Connect.
It needs to fuck. No, really. Like, I can't even discuss this episode without thinking to myself, pretty much every line delivered when they're in the cockpits in this episode is a euphemism, or a metaphor, or an analogy, or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, stop it. You just have a dirty mind. It's not that.
Look at the guys who made this show.
It's perfectly above board. Come on.
There's an ass so large in one of these shots that it was like an eclipse. That's what we Brits call it, a total eclipse. Like, hard cut to someone a girl taking her panties off, and it's just foreground and centre. Like, just...
I think you should reflect on your own life. I think the show is showing you that, that you are in the gutter and you need to be purified. Because I, for one, did not take any of it as double entendre or innuendo at all. Okay, I'm totally kidding. For anyone out there that thinks it's not true.
I was going to say, Doc, every polygraph machine in the state of Tennessee just blew up, and you weren't even connected to any of them.
No, this episode is lathered in innuendo like the pieces of meat that 028 are lathered in honey, was it?
Maple syrup?
Something that she thought was sweet. Anyway, we'll get to that scene. The first scene that we see is Hiro having a bit of an inner monologue as the Franxx Strelizia is like docked, and he's kind of moving around. He has no memory of the battle, but he believes that he fought and piloted the Franxx, fought the Klaxonsaur under his own power, that he wasn't just a completely passive passenger here. And that theory of his, that belief of his, is challenged throughout the episode by numerous things. We get to see Ichigo. We learn about her a little bit. Like, this episode does an okay job, I think, of showcasing the other parasites, the secondary characters. We get to see their personalities, and you've got Ichigo, who is kind of the loyal, protective friend of Hiro, who is pretty transparently harboring some feelings for him, I would say.
What, remind me, I can't believe I'm bringing this up, but it feels close to it in some respects. What was the name of the one character we kind of sort of liked from the Love Hina Christmas special? The girl who, I can't remember her name.
Oh, the samurai lady, right?
No,
No.
Shinobu, there we go.
Oh, yes! Yes, the poor innocent little child that was used by that fucker. Yes, Shinobu.
This felt like Shinobu Light to me in a number of respects, unfortunately.
Oh my. I think she's got a little bit more attitude and initiative than poor Shinobu, but...
Yeah, that's true, but man, like, just wait until we get to the ending bits and I'll just be like, God damn it, Hiro. You're not as bad as Hiro Yui, but you're going down. Is
anyone in the history of ones as bad as Hiro Yui?
Wu Fei?
Fuck, you beat me. Oh boy. Okay. I did notice that the ties that characters have on have the letters of the male and female chromosomes on them.
Whoa. Okay.
X and Y are on the ties.
That's a neat detail, but I can't help but be a cynic and just think that that's like a really oblique way of just saying, just in case you weren't sure what gender this person was, just in case you couldn't tell.
Well, exactly. Like, it's a nice detail that is like a signifier for some bullshit. Like,
oh boy,
it feels like here are the two genders. You know what I mean? It just didn't like that. But totally could be projecting here, and we'll see. I'm waiting for the show to dissuade me to bloom. Yeah, to dissuade me of all the sort of the negative impressions that I'm having of it.
I think that personally it's turning into a fantastic comedy, because I can't take any of it seriously.
Oh my gosh. Well, that could be one way to view this thing eventually. if we end up going, like, if we just continue to go and we end up souring on it, perhaps it could be an unintentional comedy.
Well, when I say that, I do have an alternative hypothesis, which we'll come back to later. But anyway, please continue.
We found out that Naomi lived.
How?
Don't know.
Fucking hell, I think even Bugs Bunny would need to take a breather after falling into that mess.
Yeah, it is, I feel like they're setting us up for some really forced drama that could potentially happen between, or some, like, she will be a source of guilt for Hiro whenever we're feeling like he's going to press on, proceed, take the bull by the horns and accomplish some things.
Oh, he's gonna be taking someone by the horns if he has his way eventually.
Well, no, we'll get there. People don't know what you're talking about yet because they haven't seen the episode. They surely will listen to this before they watch the episode because that's the right way to do this. It's not at all. It's not at all the right way to do it. Yeah, so somehow she inexplicably has lived and is in a hospital waiting for the chance to become a millstone around the neck of our main character, dragging him down into navel-gazing, anxious, and guilt-ridden depths. And so we find this out during the conversation that Ichigo and Hiro are having, because they are friends before, like they have some kind of relationship that seems to go back. I hesitate to say childhood friend because, that may not be the case, but they seem pretty close. And Ichigo is trying to dissuade him from piloting with 02 again, saying like, look, she's got this reputation and I'm very protective of you. She doesn't say that, but this is written all over her face. So don't pilot with her. And Hiro just basically says, look, if I can't pilot, then I'm as good as dead anyway. So I don't care if she has eaten stamens. And so what do you say to that? Like, it's a value that the society blatantly enforces. So
yep.
Look, if he doesn't have utility by being a pilot, then whatever. And then the things that are necessary to be a pilot and have utility are things that are, well, I'll just say it, problematic.
Yeah. I mean, in the post-apocalyptic storyline, I am not against the idea of, say, conscription as a narrative mechanic. Because when you're on the brink of collapse, and to be fair, Franxx at times doesn't seem to sell that very well to me, particularly with the dinner scene that we get.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, generally speaking, like, I've made this complaint before about things like Macross Frontier. Okay, things are going downhill, or are already downhill. But the shows and the environments don't seem to suggest this. Like, I understand, like, that Hiro wants to be, needed. He wants to be valued. He wants to pilot because it gives him a reason to go about and do his thing. But to be quite frank, or to be quite Franxx, I suppose. To be quite frank, there isn't really a consequence that we've seen for his failure beyond just simply his own self-worth. There's no, you're going to be cleaning out the toilets in this place for the rest of your days if you can't pilot, or anything like that.
Well, so in the first episode, excuse me, you're going to go back to the orphanage, and I know that you're saying that that's a self-worth thing. It seemed to be impacting, or at least part of what impacted Naomi as she was getting on her giant ball train. That sounds horrible. The large spherical transportation object.
The Technodrome from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes,
just
without
painted
the tank
brown.
treads. Presumably, the giant ping pong ball.
Shredders, we've got the Franxxes coming after us.
That's really bad.
That's Krang after he's had a tequila or two.
Nelson.
Ah, shouts to him.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know if it's stated, I can't remember if it's stated outright or not, but it sure seems like going back to the orphanage is the equivalent of, disappearing.
We just haven't seen it, though, and, orphanages, generally speaking, are places you do not want to be. I get that, absolutely. But
right.
It's just on that basis that we take it to be a bad thing. Is there a more personal touch to that?
Well, by disappearing, I guess I mean getting dead.
Getting dead. Ah.
Yeah. There was an air of menace, just a hint of it, that seemed to be around the idea of going to the orphanage. It seemed like they wanted him to stay on. I'm not sure if they gave that choice to Naomi or not, but that fellow in episode 1 was like, are you sure you want to do this? And he's like, yep. And then as he's leaving, I feel like they did say something about how permanently cut off you are. That I don't know what it implies. You're right. There's an air of mystery about it that I kind of like, but I hope it does. I hope later on they don't just turn up at an orphanage silo and people are like, playing on the slip and slide or whatever.
One can hope, but
That would suck.
yeah, that would be a bit lame. Let's put it that way. I mean, there's a lot of like classic sci-fi post-apocalypse, dystopian future stories which make their punishments and penalties for failure or for breaking the rules very obvious. I mean, for as problematic as it is, there's Logan's Run, for example, which is you get to a certain age and you're done. That's it. And at the moment, like with Franxx, everything looks fantastic, and that's a testament to the visual design, but there's not much sense to it. I don't even really know at this point, like 2 episodes in, how we got to this point as far as the post-apocalypse goes. Like, the Klaxosaurs are barely mentioned once in this episode. There's no... Okay, let's take Eva. Let's just go straight to Evangelion comparisons, because they are inevitable. And I'm not even going to talk necessarily about the visual elements, I'm just talking about the opening's premise. Immediately, we get the impression, like, that the angels are going down, smashing the hell out of the city, and there's an immediate threat to people. We haven't seen any, like, regular citizens at this point of the society in the Franxx. I don't have a second clue where the Klaxosaurs came from, if they're a persistent threat or if they're just natural, predators, like if they're being actively sent here by an outside force. I've got no hints of that. I don't know. Something rings very hollow about this, and I want there to be a bit more tension behind what's going on. I want, like, at the moment, a lot of what happens in episode 2 to me feels basically like a parallel of high school drama.
Yeah.
And that's all well and good, because I did, after all, rate a high school drama as my favourite anime of last year, Scum's Wish. And the comparison there is actually more apt than you'd think, given the sexual overtones of that one versus the undertones of this one. And
undertones, he says.
Yes.
They're just tones.
Oh, no, yeah, no. Yeah.
Look, I would, to completely rip off a tweet that my friend Pat's Prime said, can you say a tweet? A tweet that he tweeted. It's barely even a metaphor.
No. It's very, very on the nose. And you know what? We've not even cited any examples of this yet, but chances are...
We'll get there.
We'll get there, but chances are good that you, the listener, probably are aware of them if you have been following people on your Twitter feed or just generally keeping up with the social media buzz on this particular show. I have no issue with any of this sort of, like, imagery if it's being used to make a point about the way that these characters are developing. And I'm not just talking specific to them, more like generally as well, about, how kids mature in age and how they deal with, sexual inadequacy and, like, naivety, inexperience. Because, let's be honest, right? A lot of shows, a lot of fiction tend to, especially in anime, when they have a male protagonist, tend to paint him as the sexual ubermensch just under, waiting to be unleashed once he gets the opportunity with any variety of women he so chooses. I mean, Grisaya that you're playing right now, even though Yuji himself, like, is in many ways not a blank slate or a cipher that you can so easily, see yourself in, he's a machine, we'll call it. Let's put it that way. And there's not a lot of literature out there that openly admits to, the fact that a lot of characters simply have no clue what they're doing and often act without any real education. So the point I'm trying to get to at the end of this long-winded tangent is maybe that's what Franxx is going to go for, and maybe it will not necessarily be about the wider world at all, and it will be more about the character interplay and how they, learn and deal with these situations. Because what happens with Ichigo in this episode, like, it's pretty standard, like, high school jealousy, feeling threatened by an invading force. And that is all well and good.
How dare you take my side piece?
I'm so sorry.
This is what Ichigo says to 02.
Yes. I just think, like, I'm all okay with it being very on the nose if it's in the service of something, but the problem is I'm not getting much hints of what it is in service of, to be quite frank.
Yeah. Frank, I see what you do.
I'm going to keep doing that. And I'm going to... You can make a drinking game out of this, folks, honestly.
Well, just to address something that you pointed out, like, I think you're totally right that I think the sense of place in this show, there's not really a strong one just yet. And I also want more world details. I mean, there's a little bit of detail insofar as, like, the governmental structure, what the power structure, what the Star Chamber looks like, and what's happening and what have you behind closed doors. But yeah, no, I also feel like we need some more flavor, but I think it's pretty typical for episode 2s of these kind of stories to like take a second to breathe, because episode 1 there's usually some kind of big action showpiece.
Yeah. And
the second episode will be like, here are the people, right? I mean, like, for good or for bad, the thing that people come to anime for is characters, and characters drive anime as a product.
Sure.
And yeah, I think it was taking the most time this time to just show what it could of the personalities.
Yes.
but I want more of the world. I do.
Yeah. I mean, I just find it a bit telling that we haven't even seen a single civilian person yet, like a single average Joe. No, random people in the streets. No, we have no idea who they're fighting for, the parasites. We have no idea what society looks like inside of the domes. I don't know. I think it really just needs a bit more to give us, some idea of what Hero wants to fight for, other than to prove himself that to prove to others that he's not quote unquote impotent.
Yep.
In fact, no, I take that back.
There's no quote unquote.
Yeah, I was good. That's exactly. There's no quote unquote about it. I mean, I'm just literally would not even be surprised at this point if the solution to Hero's problems were that he popped Viagra before jumping in the cockpit.
Oh man, there is so gonna be like a Viagra peddler, and it's gonna somehow ruin things.
It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. But anyway, carry on.
Gonna be like, I want to disconnect. I can't help it. We're still connected. It's still going. No, stop. And
it's hard. Those puns are not going to stop, folks. I mean, I can't even possibly outdo Franxx itself.
I know
on that front. So as far as I'm concerned, I've got free license to be as crude as I please, which is great. It's to truly dull my filthy mind.
The next big scene after the dialogue between the two friends is the eating scene. Is it? I think it's breakfast.
It's a nice breakfast.
It's really lavish, and that everyone has full plates of all kinds of goodies. We see in my notes, I have in all capital letters the word sauce.
Yes,
because we see Zero Two eating, and of course, the eccentric lady that she is, the outsized personality. She's dumping some kind of sauce all over her seemingly raw slab of meat and just eating it with her hands in one gulp, very cartoony. And you get to see all the other pilots, the other code numbers, making comments about her. And, some of them are like, oh, maybe she's nice. What do you think she likes? And some of them are like, she's weird. And some of them are like, hey, baby, why don't you come co-pilot with me? And then
immediately freaks out because 002 reacts to him by wiping some of this maple syrup on this guy's shirt.
Puts it on his shirt.
And that's it, game over. He got KO'd. It was super effective.
No, my Sunday best. That guy.
Oh, God.
Zorome. Like, the pint-sized bully.
I
want to... Yeah, he's a small dog with a lot of bark. Like, I want to like him, but he really does keep being super annoying. I mean, it's not a Bakugo in My Hero Academia situation that sort of is triggering for me, but this guy definitely bites my nerves. I think he needs to. I would like for him to chill, but also I appreciate the comedic situations that his extreme overconfidence leads to.
I have 2 points to make about this gentleman. The first off is, did you spot his code number?
Is it 69?
No, 666.
Oh, fuck.
I cannot believe that. Like, this is why I can't take this show seriously, because when it's literally 666, I'm like, oh, he's got to do a heel turn later. He's got to be a traitor. He's got to be a fucking backstabber. This guy is the Judas at this Last Supper. I'm calling it now. He's going to get his 30 fucking pieces of silver, and he's going to spend every last dollar of it.
I think they just want to make him like a badass or whatever, or contribute to that like aura he has of, I'm so awesome, I'm so cool, my code number is cool. Like, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it could certainly develop that way. Anything's possible at this point.
I hope he did pick that code number himself, because to be frank, the only time you should be appending 666 to anything is if you're setting up a MySpace profile when you're 12.
There might be certain aspects of them you can pick, but I actually don't think, like, it sounded like, based on some conversation that, is it Miku? I think is Zorume's partner, and Ichigo were having, like, well, certainly in 02's case, she's special because they don't assign single-digit code numbers, like, ever. And double-digit code numbers are apparently elite. I don't know if that's a skills thing, because, of course, you see Hero is 016, so he's a double-digit, but his skills don't appear to be elite. It might be a class thing in society. And that would sort of explain, in some sense, why Zorume is so, like, I'm gonna pop out my chest and tell you how bad I am, because he's had to scrap and claw and fight coming from lower class, as someone who's not a double digit elite. He's a triple digit commoner. So yeah, I think if that all bears out, then I can, like, sort of see where his personality comes from. Doesn't mean I have to like it though.
Well, to be fair, the second point I was going to make is that he's basically, I already have him marked as the Cypher of this show.
Oh?
If Hero is Squall, he is Cypher.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Yes. I thought you meant the self-insert, or, like, the blanks. Like, no, you mean the Final Fantasy VIII character. Yeah, he totally is.
Yes, I do.
He fucking so is. Oh my god.
He's the fucking Cypher of this show. I swear. And this is why I can't take this seriously.
Two hateable bastards you just referenced.
Oh, God. Like, anyway, the thing is, though, like, as much as I might, have a laugh and a joke at 666's expense, this dialogue and the way that these characters interact, particularly his rivalry with Hero, if you read it literally as, that old thing of, I got laid before you,
yeah,
then his dialogue absolutely doesn't need to be translated from, like, the current context to that context. Because this is one of the things I actually wonder if Franxx will do, and if it does, it will redeem itself significantly, which is I hope it actually, tackles this head on. Because what this is adolescent toxic masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
This is, I'm going to get laid before the lot of you. Losing your virginity early is great, even though the first time you do it, everyone, bar none, will be butting heads with whoever they're fucking. They don't have a fucking clue what they're doing. They'll look at the peers and be like, what the fuck's this? I know I know where the fuck this goes. Like, there's an environment I've seen firsthand where in school and in college, when I say college, I mean, like, late high school in Britain. So when you're, like, 17 or 16, there's an environment amongst men which is like, you gotta lose it. And if you don't lose it, you're terrible. And then there's like it feels like a race and a competition to get there first.
Can I just say, though, before you continue, that's not just the UK thing.
Oh, no, I totally believe that that's a thing in the US, and probably in a lot of other Western societies as well.
Sure.
And even others, like, but this conversation here that he has with Hero and the rivalry that develops throughout is him basically believing that he got beaten to the punch.
Right.
And whether or not, like, Hero did indeed do what he did, or if it was all 002, it doesn't matter. His perception is that regardless. And part of me wonders and hopes that maybe Franxx could now take this stepping point of having established this parallel to real world, like, young kids and the horrible, like, social standards that they place on each other, and then to maybe tear that down over time, maybe humanize and make them realize, that this whole thing that they're being wrapped up in is a lie, and that this expectations don't matter. They don't need to be treated like that. Mm-hmm. I'm saying that there's an opportunity here for them to take this show in a direction. Now, when I say that, I, of course, am not naive enough to believe that there's something going to U-turn on a dime on this, because it's, of course, already been done. So,
yeah.
But it's not something I can write off at this point, because there's an open possibility here.
Yeah, I think, like, there are a couple different ways that the show could try to subvert the types and tropes that it is laying out. One of them, which we talked about in the first episode, was the show showing us that the beliefs that, like, the ruling government and that the society has about heteronormativity are wrong, that they don't measure up, that they're not complete, that they're alienating, etc., etc. So the show could do that. Or the show could do, I think, some of what you're talking about, and not necessarily sort of conclusively dunk on those ideas, but sort of hold up a mirror and be like, this show, or be a mirror. This show is a mirror, and the things that you're seeing in here, these behaviors that you're kind of that are making you squicky and shudder, are like these real life behaviors that are bad. Now, I think it, in the scene we'll talk about fairly soon, I think it has, like, if it wanted to be that kind of a tool, it has blunted itself a lot. It's hurt its own cause by kind of reveling and indulging in, like, objectification and heteronormativity and all these things, like, so that it's making it each episode of the two, like, has made me feel less confident about it doing that. And if it doesn't do that, you know, it's not every show has to do that. It's just a thing that I would want it to do.
Yeah. I mean, I just have to think to myself, though, like, if it isn't willing to engage with these issues, if the show says over time, oh, there could be something here, but I can't be bothered with that, fuck that noise, what does it have instead then? Because we haven't really had any balls. The robots, yes, but why then clutter it up with all of this other stuff?
That's true. I mean, what is it trying to say, right? I mean, I think I think the show certainly can't get away with saying, I'm not trying to say anything.
No.
I mean, all these motifs and innuendos and the entire setup of the society is incredibly intentional. So I think you can't just sort of say it doesn't mean anything. That is foolish.
Exactly. But then what is its ultimate message? And I'm not quite... I have hopes for it. And to be fair, this is still episode 2.
Yes, of 2 of 24. We're a 12th of the way through.
I think that when it comes to stuff like this again is one of the things that I said about when we were doing Stream of Thought on Mo Junkie, that as things emerge, we have to take a measured perspective on this. Mm-hmm. We have to, give the show time to unfold. Because we always have the benefit of hindsight when we do our longer form podcasts where we've watched the thing in full. With this, maybe there is a longer goal. I mean, we've done so many shows where things have gone in directions I did not expect. Like, say, for example, Kado, for better or for worse, that went in a direction I did not expect.
The wrong direction. Oh.
So we'll see. We'll see. That being said, I have one other thing to say about the dinner scene, or rather two things, which is, as you rightly pointed out, they've got a lot of food on the plate for a post-apocalypse in domed cities. Like, meat, fruit, veg, the whole kit caboodle. And don't get me wrong, there's some great Sakuga of the food here.
Yeah.
That's all well and good. Like, I love my food porn. But how are they sustaining all this? Like,
yeah,
breeding and rearing cattle or livestock is extraordinarily intensive. Now, okay, it's the future, fine, whatever. But it still kind of defangs the whole post-apocalypse feel of this whole thing when no one's in immediate threat in ways other than the Klaxosaurs.
Yeah.
Like, at that point, the Klaxosaurs just feel more like a nuisance than anything. Like, here's a thing we have to deal with. In the same way, that if it rains, you might want to pull up an umbrella when you step outside. This is the thing about stuff like with kaiju, and also with dystopias and with post-apocalypses and like where things start going downhill, is that the actual thing that drives the apocalypse needs to also have secondary effects to make you feel more strongly about the material and to see how we deteriorate, how we crumble. We covered this in Devilman.
We did.
We've literally covered this in Devilman. And I could name another couple of examples, like one of my favourite novels of all time, The Day of the Triffids. That is a novel in which most of humanity is rendered blind by a meteor, and that then allows the Triffids of the title, which are plants, sentient plants reared for the vegetable oil they create, breaking loose. But it's also about, societies forming after the blindness epidemic kicks out, like how people take advantage of each other, how they try and sort out food, and there's military hierarchy and all that sort of stuff. And Frank, so far, we've had the Klaxosaur attack, and I have no real foundation for why things are the way as they are. And I'm not even expecting, like, the whole thing to be revealed right now. That would be silly. I'm not expecting the show to put all its cards on the table, but I want hints. I want one or two things like, okay, this is how long it's been since they started appearing. This is, like, how many people are left. Things are desperate. Give us a sense that things are not good.
The hints that we've gotten are seemingly, well, they're few this episode, and they're seemingly all about, like, the societal structure and the how the parasites sort of, you know, a little bit about their school and what that's like, a little bit about the government, a little bit about like a teeny tiny bit about 02. And yeah, it's all been very, like, it's the tiniest of drips. But yeah, none of them have been about, like, the situation writ large. No.
But on a positive note, I have found, or rather, we've already talked about one of the redeeming elements of this show so far. 002 is just fantastic to watch.
Yeah.
It's great just watching her do her own thing and not give two flying shits about what anyone thinks.
So confident.
I love it.
The embodiment of self-assurance.
I absolutely adore it. Like, I could literally watch a show in which she just went about her everyday life and just basically, you know, people like, no, don't do that. And she's like, oh, whatever, who gives a fuck about what you think?
She is, like, if you imagine No-No from Gunbuster consulting with her conscience, 02 is the devil on her shoulder.
Oh! That is a damn fine metaphor, if I do say so. Or rather a simile, but you know what I mean.
Yes. But no, she's awesome. Like, she's like, I mean, she is the show at this point, right?
Yes.
Like, if not for this character, I mean, you have the most bland thing in the world.
Well, that's not fair, because there are, like, the show visually and
no,
like,
yeah, you're right. That is not. Yes, there are details about it that I like for sure.
Oh shit! Speaking of which, what did you think of the OP now that we finally got it?
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool. I enjoyed that a lot. Very, very nice.
That was super stylish. I loved every second of it.
Oh yes.
I mean, 002's naked as a jaybird in it, and saved only by her trench coat. Which, if I didn't know any better, I would think the show was like, I'd think the show was like trying to, you know. That's the old sex ploy, isn't it? Like, you know, your girlfriend turns up and she's got nothing but a trench coat on and shoes. But no, that's not what it is at all.
She needs to get her hat back, though.
Yes, she does. Again, costume design in this show, pretty spot on.
Very, very solid. So, 02 is taken away by, is it Nana?
It's either Nana or Mama.
Okay, so one of the sort of familial terms, like the matriarch of the situation. Their supervisory lady, the lady who was unfortunately groped in the first episode, comes in and takes 02 away, and you get one of the hints I was talking about in the sort of ominous elevator ride, in which she tells 02 to not associate with the parasites anymore. 02 just says, I feel cramped in here. And then cut to the mysterious meeting.
Oh.
Like,
I do like how the show, despite not tipping its hand too much, has already tipped its hand that Hero is the special, and he has hidden potential that we don't know about.
Robo Bishops. Oh,
God. It's Sele all over again.
Oh, Sele's so much cooler, though.
I know. I mean, these guys are all right, but literally, this scene is like, we don't want her diluted. But why not? Because he's got a hidden potential, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yes, one of them is a process person, but Papa, yes, Papa, the first among equals of their Star Chamber Council, he's a results-oriented man, and he just simply said, look, it worked. We're going to do this again.
Let him fuck, I say.
Exactly. So, yes.
But why did, like, I can't get over that they actually did hint here and now at Hero having hidden potential. Like, that's supposed to be the entire crux of this episode, is that will he or won't he?
Well, they did use pronouns, so maybe they're just trying to throw us off the scent. Maybe they're talking about someone else.
Fine.
Who knows?
Send this dark kid off elsewhere and let it just be 002 for the entirety of the show. I'm alright with that. Just, there's a time and a place for foreshadowing, but certain things, especially when the thing you're foreshadowing is the very crux of this very same episode of will he, won't he, get it up, so to speak, it undoes it a little bit because I'm like, oh, if it doesn't do it this time, he'll do it later. I mean, like, that would be like in The Matrix when Neo's on the rooftop and the guy's outside watching, like, Cypher, Trinity, and all that, like, oh, it's okay, we know he'll not jump it, but it doesn't matter, we'll jump it later. They tell us that after he's actually done it, so we have some tension building up about that. Whereas here, it's like, oh, okay, he's got hidden potential that we know about, we're not going to explicitly discuss any further. So, why should I feel like, there's any doubt in my mind about what's going to happen to him? I mean, if he didn't... Spoilers, to get ahead a little bit, but he does briefly pilot a Franxx later on, and then it fails. But I'm not going to believe for a second that that's the end of it, because they've already done that.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, I think all the drama and suspense was in seeing if it would work out this time. Yeah, he's by no means is he done. No, there's no way.
I just wish the characters didn't explicitly tell us that ahead of the moment in which that would happen.
I don't know. I'm kind of glad they got it out of the fucking way so that we don't have to. Maybe we don't have to spend as much time talking about it later because we all know it's true.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, so the next scene, Shadon, is why I said that I think that if the show wanted to be a subversive tool, then it has blunted itself, and that's the changing room scene.
Oh, this was the one with the ass.
Yeah.
The total eclipse.
Yep.
Like, that, the hard cuts of that, and I was just like, holy shit! There's blatancy, and then there's blatancy, and then there's just being unholy.
Just being titillating. I mean, just straight up.
I mean, to be frank, in my opinion, like, again, take a shot.
Oh.
Take a shot, folks. To be honest, I have not, in this episode, I didn't really feel like all of the other stuff we'll get to was framed in such a way as to deliberately be massively objectifying. I mean, it is objectifying. There's no way around that. But we're not talking, for the most part, like, for example, say the camera is directly framed from above onto the girl's butts in the cockpit, or on the boobs or anything like that. For the most part, it's wide shots of the entire cockpit, or perspective shots from the male characters, etc., etc. But this was just, I felt like I'd been hit in the face. It was like getting hit by Mika's, critical art from Street Fighter 5. Just one butt rather than two.
Oh, full meter.
Yeah, the show had full meter and it went all in on me, and I was dazed afterwards. Just
full stun, dizzy.
Yeah. So yes, the changing room scene.
Man, like, also the boys' changing room scene. We didn't see shit, and I'm disappointed by that.
Of course we didn't. Franxx is made specifically for hetero men, or rather, made to appeal directly to that particular audience. There's no doubt in my mind. Do you think that there's appeal for ladies who like to see other ladies? Well, like we were discussing on Twitter recently, what the show is designed for does not preclude people who it was not designed for enjoying it. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to pretend to speak on behalf of such people. If people like it, that's fine. But for me, the explicit design of this show is, if you've got a dick and you're straight, this is what we're going to deliver to you.
Right.
Because we know you want it.
That should be it should be the back of the box. That really should be, if they release this physically, that it should be a direct quote on the back of the box.
I mean, let's just zip back very briefly to 002 eating that slice of bacon, right? The bacon is the core premise of the show, and the sauce is the fan service. And they're lashing the fuck out of it onto that bacon and giving it to you to wolf down in one go. Because that's how they know, or how they think, that the audience rolls.
Yum. Well, yes. So the changing room scene, as a precursor to the connecting. These kids get a chance to connect for the first time. Mm-hmm. And, well, I think the first time you see that the female uniforms have handles,
Yep.
Even knowing what the show's about, you can't help but be taken aback by the sheer unmitigated gall.
The audacity of it.
Yes. The temerity.
I have a question, if I may raise my hand in a lecture hall style thing for the show to answer at some point. And hopefully it will. I'm going to put aside all of the fan service related stuff to the butt handles. And I never thought I'd say that in my entire fucking life. But here we are. This is what Darling in the Franxx has done. But let's put all that aside. Now, at no point from what I could see were the male or female pilots linked in any way. They didn't have, like, cables coming into each other or anything like that. Like, the male pilot was sat in the seat, the female was leaning forward. The only fucking reasons that I could see from these cockpit scenes that this is the way it is because the female helmet has a monitor on the back, and because of the handles on the suit.
It wouldn't be sexy enough of a metaphor if it was just they put two helmets on and link their brains. No, they have to link their brains while in this position.
But how is the linking happening? Because it's never explained. It makes me honestly think that the guys who designed the cockpit were just taking the piss and thought, no, it'd be funny if we do it this way. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, hell if I know.
I just want a diegetic reason why this is how it is.
Right.
And I haven't got a reason from when we've been introduced, even though this is the ideal time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We're fresh to this concept. We're intrigued on what's going on. Tell us how this works. I mean, there's alpha waves, there's like red and blue waves and like synchronization. It really is Pacific Rim, basically, at this point.
Yep.
And I have to say, like, I don't get why it's been done this way, other than simply as an out of fiction reason, as in to be fan service.
Yeah.
If there's an in-universe reason, as dumb as it is that they have to be positioned this way, then I'm actually alright with that. If they flat out came and said it, we put them in this position because it is sexual and there's a sexual connection necessary in order to activate these machines. Even if it is just literally eroticism. Like, the guys get aroused in front of the girls because they see them in this position, that's what gets the whole thing going because it's a metaphor for, getting a hard-on or whatever. Fine, I would be great. I would be all right with that. I won't necessarily like it, but I would at least have something I can point to offer some explanation. But I have nothing, much in the same way as I had very little about the wider world. And I have to also say, I'm actually genuinely surprised that each cockpit didn't have different positions. I mean, we have they were all doggy. There was no missionary, no cowgirl, none of that. And I'm like, come on, get spicy in here, right? Can we have one with chains inside of it? Why the fuck not? I mean, if you're going to go all in, if you are going to go so far in as to be that blatant, I say take it further. Have no shame.
They're going to encounter a Franxx from a different civilization or planet, and the position will be different.
It's the BDSM Tron 9000!
Yes, exactly.
It's just literally a robot with a ball and gag chain.
Man. Like, okay, so this is not the first anime to do things like this. About, I guess, 13 years ago now. God, can't believe it's that old.
In the dark ages of 2004.
05.
Oh, no, sorry, 2005. Sorry, my apologies, you're right.
An anime known as Sosei no Aquarion, Genesis of Aquarion, was made by Shoji Kawamori of Macross fame. And it is a robot show that I do enjoy. But when, unlike the Darling in the Franxx stuff, each pilot is piloting in Aquarion their own individual robot, and three of them combine into, or two of them, I guess, can as well, and then a third one can join in to combine into the Super Voltron-esque Get a Robo thing of awesomeness. And when these teenagers combine robots, they have an experience that is, well, an orgasm.
Oh, come on now, Doc. They're kids piloting a giant robot. Of course they're going to be losing their shit over it. No. That's me playing it down.
That is what Gatai is in that show. And they do end up in lots of different positions when the cockpits combine. The cockpits. Haha. Haha. Haha.
This is why, again, I can't take it seriously, because everything's a pun. Everything's a riff.
You can't get
everything's an innuendo. It's like Bloodhound Gang ghostwrit all of the dialogue. I'm waiting for the AMV of Darling in the Franxx that is set to Foxtrot uniformed Charlie Kilo.
Oh my god.
It will happen. Or it should. Because it fits.
What if, like, when in a future episode they're booting up the cockpit systems, likened to you might. Let me start. When they're booting up the cockpit systems, you hear over the speaker, much as you would, I don't know, in some sort of mall or something. Let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel.
Yes, or I'll throw you an alternative. How about Tenacious D's I'm Gonna Fuck You Gently? Have you never heard that one?
I know, so I'm not as familiar with Tenacious D. I know a couple songs, but not that one. Sorry, I apologize. The audience will get that and enjoy it.
Oh well.
You just cut to me going ha 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 ha.
I'll slip in some studio laughter. Failing that, if you are familiar with them, you can at least still have the opportunity to put, tribute in as the opening to the Devilman podcast.
Hey, yes, there you go. That
they're
is
shiny,
not a
they're
bad
shiny
idea. That's good.
You angels.
Yes.
See, I've got ideas.
Oh boy, I've lost my train of thought. Okay. Yeah, okay, so we're talking about Aquarion, and, like, that show, of course, was very blatant about its sexual metaphor, very on-the-nose sexual metaphor. But, and I haven't seen the second or third season of Aquarion, so maybe it ratchets things up, but, like, it did make a whole goddamn universe about it. And it seems like Franxx, like, the entire universe is built around this notion of boys and girls fucking in the cockpit.
To be frank, you could argue the significant quantity of existing society is built around that notion in some way or another.
It's now that you said that, I love this show.
Hey!
I've completely turned around on it. It's the core building block of our society. No, listen, So basically, I just wanted to bring that up and point out that they're similar, and you have things like Godenar as well. But I think this is a step beyond those things. It certainly refuses to let go of that metaphor. It's suffused throughout the entirety of the show. Is this notion? So I think this is probably why we are expecting it to comment on this stuff, right? I mean, based on the fact that it's a Trigger show, and Triggers has made shows that say things, and the fact that the symbolism, if you will, the metaphor is everywhere. It's not this isolated thing.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, it has to now. It's kind of almost set itself up for it. It's like when you make a silly comment in public and people go, "Could you expand on that?" And the show now has to do that, otherwise it'll just make a fool of itself.
Oh my god! By the way, what about what Hero was driving while they were connecting?
Oh god! Wait, do you mean that robot that, like,
with the control panel that was shaped how it was shaped?
I must have missed that. What was it? Go on, Doc. Tell us explicitly. What was it shaped like?
Did you really miss it?
Was it a dick?
No. It was.
That was my first guess.
It was a setup that was exactly like it looked like it was like molded from some kind of like perfect mold. It looked just like a girl's ass, and the handles coming out of.
Oh god, yes, you're right.
Okay, so Ichigo. Well, no, let me back up. So after all the connecting business, and all the really obvious, like, keep going. Am I doing it wrong? Does it hurt? No, you're fine. Or this feels weird. I don't know. It was weird, but I kind of liked it. Like all that really like obvious tomfoolery. We are told that there's going to be a mock battle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to involve Hero because the higher-ups want to put him in action, but he can't pilot with 02 despite the fact that they both want to. And Ichigo volunteers to do it because I guess she wanted. It's very unclear. It's not unclear. It's just complicated. She's got feelings for Hiro. She might have wanted to be Hiro's partner at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But she has very high compatibility with Goro, and they've got a good thing going. And they're official partners. Goro also being friends with Hiro. So, yeah, so she volunteers really just so he won't be doing it with 02, regardless of if she's up for consideration for this role. But she's not. And 3 guesses who fucking steps up and says, okay, I'll fight you, Hiro.
I that was the second time I laughed in this entire episode, intentionally, because he was just, the moment it was suggested, he was like, me!
I know.
I'll fight him! I might be a little pipsqueak, but I'll have at him!
Yeah.
Like I said, the Cypher.
Exactly. Totally.
He is literally the fucking Cypher.
And his partner also, she would not be sad if the high and mighty Ichigo was deposed from her perch by the two of them. So she's on board. And so Hiro and Ichigo connect, it turns out. They establish a good connection and walk through it and until they fall over and the connection dies.
This is the thing about this show. You're literally describing what happened, and yet you're also not literally describing what happened. I can't take it seriously.
Yes, it's all the dialogue. I mean, it's just, it's been created, this show, so that all the, what would be technobabble is now bathroom talk. I'm sorry, bedroom talk.
It's aerobabble.
Yes,
there we go.
Thank you. What would have been technobabble, connect the flux capacitor, then do we have enough CCs, is now, am I doing it wrong? No, keep going. Bedroom talk, aerobabble, as you said.
Well, what do you need to say you don't use the flux capacitor in your own bedroom talk? I totally do.
Yeah, we, what can I say? We are perhaps less risky than you in our in our own situation.
Explains a lot about me, to be fair.
We don't need toys, Shadon, because we love each other. No, that's, yeah, okay. drifting away from real life, back to the show now. So, yeah, they fall over, and Ichigo, of course, is blaming herself. And she wanted to, this is so annoying. She wants to take charge, right? Because she's done this before. It's Hiro's first time, really, while being conscious. So it's really his first time. And, we're told earlier on that the Stamen, the man, has to take the lead and has to consider whether or not the pistol, the lady, can keep up, and they have to be in sync. The man can't just run roughshod over the woman. They have to be in sync. But Ichigo taking the lead, I feel like, is part of why this experiment failed. It also didn't help that Hiro felt a ton of guilt and didn't feel the special magic that he felt with 02. Turns out he needs to be in love. He can't just have casual sex.
Right. Okay. In hindsight, this scene really annoyed me, and I'll tell you why.
It fucking annoyed the shit out of me.
I'll tell you why it annoyed me. Because Ichigo starts crying over this.
Mm-hmm.
She breaks down in tears that she can't help Hiro accomplish what he needs to do. Does Hiro, at any point in this scene, show any consideration towards how she feels, or say, no, it's not you, or anything to that effect? To my memory, nope. Not one fucking iota of sympathy from him. Not a bit.
He's turned inward and just thinking, I'm not soaring. That special feeling is gone.
He's outright saying this stuff out loud as well, while she can hear it.
And then he's like, oh, wait a minute. What if we kisu? Because me and 02 kisu'd. And then fireworks. Bazam. And let's do that. But they don't know what kissing is, which, lol, right? I mean...
I've seen theories postulated that maybe the idea is that this is a post-sex test tube baby, we're all born in that society.
Sure, I could buy that.
To which I have one point to make. If that's the case, why are they breeding all of these kids? If they breed all these kids in tubes, why is Hiro faulty, quote-unquote, since he can't operate a Franxx properly like everyone else. Seems like a bit of a misstep, in my opinion.
You know, you get a lemon every now and then, I guess.
It's like, you know, when you get chocolate, like a Kit Kat with no wafer inside of it.
Yes.
Fucking hell. But honestly, right, fuck that guy, because this all, of course, is allegory, or, no, not even allegory, literally is about sex. And Ichigo, if we take that as literally as we say, Ichigo has literally put herself out there for him in the most intimate way possible for these kids to have shot actually fucking. And now it's made her feel ashamed because it didn't work.
Yeah.
And he does not in any way show her any sympathy.
No.
Fuck you.
Yeah, he's don't really don't like him a whole lot at the moment at all.
No, it's all me.
During the scenes with Ichigo frustratingly, like, well, not frustratingly, but she is frustrated and she's, you know, shedding tears. She's angry. She's upset. You see on the HUD a shot of 02 yawning and just kicking her feet back like, well, told you so. I told you to take care of my darling, and look, just like I knew you would, you fucked it up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like I said to you before, it's Ichigo feels like she's threatened a little bit by 002. She's, you know, here's this new girl out of nowhere who's confident and sexy and doesn't give two shits about what people think. She does what she likes, and she's intruding on presumably the man that she wants.
I mean, they're basically, they're preening and fighting for this useless D-bag. Like,
yeah, in some way, Ichigo's behavior is actually basically the same as 666's, whatever his name is again. I can't remember. He's just a muppet to me.
Zorome.
It's similar to that. It's based on the same thing. It's just that it's jealousy towards 002. So, if this episode was centered entirely from her perspective, and then allowed some people to give her sympathy over what happened, I'd actually come away from this a lot happier. But no, it's about the special child. It's about him and what he wants and what he needs.
This is also an environment that seems to be largely lacking in sympathy. Like, the way Ichigo feels for Hiro seems to be rare. Like, it seems to be an atmosphere of competition rather than cooperation. Everyone's trying to get ahead of each other, and so if she messes up or has a bad experience or fails in some way, rather than helping her out, encouraging her to strengthen the team, they want to take her place.
Yeah. I mean, 002 so far has not actually shown any signs of her reputation of, you know, being cursed or eating people alive or whatever actually bearing out. Not even hints of it. She's just been a bit odd. And also she does lick Ichigo early in the show, in the episode as well.
She likes the sweet way she tastes. Well, her previous co-pilot before Hiro did die. He just basically fell out of the cockpit dead, and then what's-his-face got in there.
But there's no evidence that we've been presented to suggest that's down to her being incompetent.
Oh no, it won't be. I mean, she's a fantastic pilot. At least if this goes according to form and trope, it's never the fault of the cursed pilot. The cursed pilot's an excellent pilot, but they're so excellent and they get put in such compromising situations with terrible odds that always happens that they end up surviving when their compatriots don't.
I have to say as well, like, the whole thing you brought up about the competition thing actually does further defang this whole, you know, post-apocalypse setting of where everything's bad and we have to do this thing. Like, it is just a competition. Like, Robot Jocks had a more compelling, you know, conflicts going on here. Just so the whole ending of the show, with the exception again of 002's amazing yawning face of that she knew it all along and was not bothered in any way, shape or form, the whole ending of this episode just left me sour.
Yeah, like, the more I think about it, I mean, the final shot of the show, right, is Ichigo shedding 2 tears and muttering to herself, "You were terrible, Hiro." And, like, it's like she's had a really, I mean, just a horrible, awful sexual encounter, and she's just made totally vulnerable, and she's humiliated. Like, physically, she's humiliated emotionally because she took control of the Franxx herself and charged at Zorome and Miku and, you know, bowled them over and ruined the training exercise. like, she's been thoroughly, like, made to look bad, and I did not enjoy that at all. Much more so, like, much more egregious to me than, like, the stupid metaphor and the innuendo and all that stuff. Like, that stuff, like, for me personally, is not, like, a huge knock against the show. It is, I recognize, an alienating thing that can turn people off, and I totally think that's valid, and if you feel that way, then I do not judge you for not watching the show. But, like, the way they treated Ichigo turned me off so much more.
This is the Shinobu comparison I made. That's why I made it. Because she's treated like dirt by the lead character, who uses her as a stow-in to get what he wants, because he can't have it with the woman he may otherwise want or to desire normally. Just... And again, like, okay, I'll make one meager defense. And this is a defense I think can apply to a lot of Japanese anime in general, although it doesn't necessarily excuse the actions of characters. That I think that sometimes you need a bit of perspective in remembering that these are kids, and that they are kids without an adult voice to guide them or, you know, give them a counter narrative. They only have each other, and they don't know jack shit between them. They've got not one grain of evidence, like, you know, of knowledge or experience, unless it was from 002, I suppose, because she knows things, but they won't want to touch her with a 10-foot barge pole. So, Ichigo not comforting her after the fact, I can understand it narratively because he wouldn't know what to do. He's got no idea of etiquette in that case. You'd think he might have some idea of empathy.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
His friend is crying.
But I will otherwise say that when kids act shitty like that, I can somewhat get that, because inevitably sometimes you have to be a shithead in order to grow out of it. Sometimes you have to have a bad attitude and a bad perspective, and then you'll learn from it. Maybe that will happen to Hiro. Maybe next episode he'll come back and he'll apologise to him. We'll get that again. This is only episode 2. But suffice to say, this episode in general did not endear itself very much to me. At times I was laughing when I shouldn't have been, because I just couldn't take it seriously. Yeah. And the times that I took seriously were the times that, generally speaking, I was just snarling at it. And I don't want that to be the case. I like how the show looks. I like the music. 002 is a great character. There could be something in there, as I've said, with the fact that this is an allegory for growing up in a highly sexualized, charged environment, as it often is in high school. You know, when you're that age, when you're finally of legal age, and you know, you think to yourself, right, time to burn the midnight oil, and it's never quite as simple as that, no matter what society or mass media makes it out to be. But it seems to have absolutely no interest in that, and I don't know what it ultimately is interested in trying to tell me at this point. I've not got a clear idea. Like, this show is 24 episodes. There are shows that are half that length that by episode 2 already at least have given me hints of where they're planning on going. I had an idea at the start of MMO Junkie what the show was going to be about. Like, the first episode, that was crystal clear to me. We've got her living out her life, you know, escaping into the, you know, the MMO world, and then being dragged back, and then her trying to manage these two lives. Instantaneous. And that was a show that had 10 episodes to work with, and admittedly still didn't quite fulfill what I'd hoped for it, but at least I understood from the outset, within the first 20 to 24 minutes of it, what it was meant to be about. What Darling in the Franxx is about is beyond me. Like, no, I take that back. If it could very well just literally be about TNA in an egregious way. It could very much just be that.
Yeah, but it can't. I mean, so yes, it is about that, but it also seems to be about heteronormativity, and double thumbs up for that.
Oh, great! Fantastic. You know what? Let me throw something out there, right? Just because. Now, call me wrong here, but maybe, you know, if you'd at least have two lesbians in it, like, you know, as a partners, maybe that might be appealing to the same audience who are also into the hetero stuff. That seems to be a sub-market there. I don't fucking know. I'm just saying that you can have even that as a pathetic excuse for including it. Maybe do something more than that. Maybe that'll happen later on. Maybe there will be, less heteronormative stuff, although all the hints suggest otherwise. I'm not hopeful. That's what I'm going to end this on. My expectations are lowered.
Yep.
And that is a shame. But persevere we shall.
For now, I'll say. Right now I feel super cold on the show, so I am not going to take it off the table that we might pull the plug on this. If I plan to give it a fair shake, but no more than that if it continues to just be
waste our time.
Yeah, to be bad.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I mean, let's just put it this way, folks. I think there can be no more damning indictment of a story than if you don't want to finish it. Sure, we've seen some right shit on Warui Deshou in the past. We've seen some absolute howlers. But we did that in a format that didn't allow us to, call it quits, to tap out halfway through. And at a certain point, you can, I think it's fair to say no more. I said it was Sword Art Online, and granted, I had no hope for that when it started, but much as I've always said about that show, there was potential in there, and I hope for something to come of it, and nope. So, we'll see. If you want me to conclude right here and now, because we do like the old scoring system, I will give this episode 2 out of 5 maple syrup-soaked pieces of bacon.
Okay. I mean, I can't add much of anything to what you said. I'm pretty disappointed at this stage. And it's funny, we were talking before the podcast after I'd seen it, and what I was telling you was a little bit more upbeat because I was thinking about the visual design and everything, but just the more I reflect on what actually happens in the show and the more I think about the end of the episode, woof. So, man, there are so many other great robot shows that we could be watching that it really bums me out.
It bums me out because it's Trigger.
I know. We didn't even get any robots in this. Well, I mean, there were robots walking around, but like the sweet robo action, transformations, lights, battles, punch, like that was basically not there.
They were hitting each other with wiffle bats.
I'm all about like the Pat Labor style realism and training exercises, but this is not that setting.
Realism?
That's the most Pat Labor is like the most realistic robot show.
Oh no, I'm not laughing at Pat Labor. I'm laughing at realism in the sense of Darling In The Franxx.
I know. But this is totally not going for that. And I want bombast. Give me what I'm here for.
This show, I've just realised, introduces a version of the Oculus Rift that is designed for someone else to watch while you're wearing it. That fucking female helmet.
So funny.
What do you reckon they could, play Zelda Breath of the Wild on that shit if they're bored? Oh, can you just tilt your head a little bit to the left, my dear? It's a bit off. I can't see what I'm doing.
Oh, the new job simulator came out. To the cockpit.
Imagine if it was a touchscreen, you just kept poking the back of the head. You were doing a rhythm game. Ow, this is hurting. No, I'm on a 250 perfect streak right now. Shut up.
Okay. Well,
Oh my God,
I'm going to give this show, boy, it was going to be slightly higher, but I'm going to, because of our discussion, also give it 2 tiny bullies out of 5.
I never thought I'd see the day that I'd watch a mecha show that was literally written by the people behind Carry On. Like, fuck my life.
Teenagers writing this show, it feels like, up to this point.
Okay, just to dial back something I said before, I am sad that Trigger are doing this and it's not quite up to what I've seen before.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of things in that. One, it's not entirely Trigger, it's also A1 Pictures. Mm-hmm. So let's not entirely apportion blame that. And let's again just remind ourselves
that it's Idolmaster's fault again. We blamed it in the
you're right. Shit,
podcast.
Shit, you're right. Fuck my life, you're right. Apparently one of the writers was one of the directors.
The chief director of this show directed Idolmaster movie and TV. So I misspoke slightly in that last episode that he definitely has directed TV before. Not a ton, but he's the Idolmaster guy. And so what what has happened of Idolmaster, he's directed a lot of it, TV and movie.
I think I read also that the writer behind this is the guy who did Plastic Memories.
Yep. Yeah. And all the, semicolon science adventure VN adaptations, yes.
Yeah. What was... I know very little of Plastic Memories. Do you know anything about it?
The name is very familiar, but I can't say that it immediately springs anything to mind. I'll Google it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I remember this. People enjoyed this show.
That's something. We'll take that. Well, yeah, I have nothing more to add. We'll keep going. I mean, I'm always up for some 002, because 002 is easily the best part of the show. It's a one-horse race, Amelie, but I'm up for it. So let's keep rolling, I say. Let's keep on trucking.
The trucks will continue to truck for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we've given our ratings, Shadon, I think that's a wrap. Why don't you tell the folks at home where they can find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Shaden1010 or on Curious Cat at curiouscat.me/Shaden. Feel free to, drop me a line. Hell, if you want to send me your best, riffs on the show's innuendo, and make all the jokes you want about it. Send me some screenshots with new dialogue in it. Let's have a little competition here. Just send me screenshots with how you would make the dialogue even worse if possible, or even more blatant. I mean to say, I'd be up for that.
Man, this episode will be a bummer, I think, in any season. But I will just say that it is not helped by the fact that at the beginning of this season we all binge watched Devilman Crybaby.
Well, you've some, quality is a sine wave, and sometimes you gotta have a downer to follow your upper.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, that is admittedly always going to be unfair comparison, because what can follow that?
Very, very little.
But you can at least try?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if it was competent, okay, anyway, we've been over this. We're retreading right now. If you want to find me on the internet, you can tweet me at The Subtle Doctor or Curious Cat me at curiouscat.me/The Subtle Doctor to ask me long questions or get long answers. Please keep on supporting the show, despite how down we are on it now and how lukewarm, maybe a bit warmer than lukewarm we were on episode 1 of this stream of thought. Episode 1 is doing quite well, so I don't know, we haven't gotten a lot of actual feedback, but the listens are high, so people seem interested. Let us know how you feel about this show and us covering it. Keep on supporting and downloading and subscribing at Apple Podcasts and SoundCloud. Follow Warui Deshou on Twitter. Email us, waruideshow@gmail.com. Let us know all your feelings on this show and our other shows that have come out that you have listened to.
Indeed. Thank you all very much for supporting the show so far. It will go on. Unless Darling In The Franxx gives us very strong reasons not to want for us to take it any further, you can bet your backsides we're going to keep looking at it. I mean, I can certainly bet on there being backsides in the show. And that's the note I will see this podcast out on. Laters!
Embrace each other, everyone, to the ends of the universe.
Good night.